my remarks by thanking Marcy for being here today, but in addition, making this happen year in and year out. This year, obviously, a lot harder, as we all know. We're all going through this Armstead. He appeared at this event and graced us with his prodigious talent so many times before, but for those of you who knew him, he was much more than that, much more than talent. Really, someone that really made an indelible impression on people's lives, students, as well as the friends and family, Marcy. I can't thank you enough for sticking with things this year on very difficult circumstances. Right, I wanted to just begin by again, thanking everybody, thanking the committee, John Cavallo, and everybody else who pitched in. Way too many to name. I also want to thank the elected officials for being here today. In no particular order, District Attorney Tom Quinn is here, along with Representative Tony Cabral. And I'm just going to go around the room. I don't have a list, so if I miss anybody, just throw up your hand very quickly. But City Councilors, Linda Morad, Jerry Winterson, Brian Gomes, School Committee, yeah. Oh, Dana, stop hiding back there, Dana Rivera from Ward 4. I want to thank Acting Chancellor of UMass, Jerry Kavanaugh, for being here, Superintendent Peter Durkin, School Committee members Jack Livermore and Chris Potter for being here. And I want to thank and welcome our keynote speaker today, Byron Rushing from Boston, who has been a champion of civil rights for many, many years in our capital city and well beyond. Representative, thank you for making the trek down here. I have to break it to you, we're expecting SNOW on the way out, and so our thanks are even more deeply owed as a result of that. Thank you for coming here today. Bedford honors Dr. King today, as it has for so many years, because it is for New Bedford a truly genuine expression of our community's core values. As mayor, I am proud to say that more than most places, New Bedford has been true to Dr. King's credo that we should all be judged on the content of our character, our city's diversity, tolerance, and sense of right and wrong, planted at our very founding. Quaker fathers of New Bedford believed that with religious zeal, that there should be a community based on the ideal that we are all God's children. This was a place where people of every creed and color was welcome, after all. A city that had a population of runaway slaves back in the day that was exceeded on a per capita basis Boston and New York and perhaps every other city in America in the North. And though we were generally considered to be the wealthiest city in America at the time, it was a place described by both the likes of Herman Melville and Frederick Douglass alike, that where people of vastly different backgrounds, creeds, and colors could work side by side. In fact, as Frederick Douglass observed firsthand right here in New Bedford, just blocks away from this church, here in New Bedford, it was my good fortune to see a pretty near approach to freedom on the part of colored people. And that is something that really couldn't be said virtually anywhere else in the world. One historian very recently put it about New Bedford, that New Bedford was America's freedom port. I mention all this, the historic record here in part because I'm the mayor and I embrace everything about New Bedford, and I'm the cheerleader in chief. You've come to expect that from me. But more importantly, I mention it because it should be a source of strength and inspiration for everybody here, especially our children. That compared to most cities, New Bedford has acquitted itself well as one that embraces diversity and tolerance. Ferguson, Chicago, and many other American cities have an awful lot to learn from New Bedford. But we are hardly perfect. And while New Bedford can and should remain a leader in America's pursuit of equality, we as a city still have ways to go to live fully up to our ideals. We must be alert to the risk of accepting what Dr. King calls the myth of time, the belief that racial justice will eventually be achieved with the passage of time, that it is inevitable that as African Americans progress in our society, people of goodwill, black and white alike, will entirely crowd out whatever racism continues to persist. It is tempting to see Dr. King's efforts some 40 years ago, 45 to 50 years ago, as setting in motion a chain of events that will inevitably lead to racial equality, an idea that has been reinforced by, among other achievements, the ascent of African Americans into the middle class, and more conspicuously, the election of an African American president. But Dr. King recognized that the problem of racial inequality will not just simply take care of itself. And this I think is the key. He said that time is neutral. In other words, just as we can move forward, we can slide backwards or simply stand still. He said, somewhere, quoting, somewhere we must come to see human progress never rolls on the wheels of inevitability. It comes through the tireless efforts and persistent work of dedicated individuals. In our own time, the horrific events that we have seen in many cities, involving police departments and others, have laid bare the illusion of inevitability. They are a wake-up call, and should be seen as such, to remind us that we can still have ways to go, that our aspirations will not happen automatically. It will take unrelenting work, and in this way, Dr. King's words should just not be seen as the lofty eloquence of an important historic figure, but a call to action that is as relevant today as it's ever been, including back at this time. So let us honor Dr. King today by taking to heart his call to serve one another. When we commit to causes larger than ourselves, we grow as a community and as individuals. And as Dr. King observed, and as you've heard me repeat again and again in many other instances, because I think it's so powerfully stated, so simply and powerfully stated, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't need to have a college degree to serve. You don't need to make your subject a Harvard degree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. So when you mentor that student, you're playing your part. You're acting on those ideas. When you work to clean up your neighborhood, you're acting on those ideals. When you give a handout to somebody in need, you're acting on those ideas. We in our time elevate Dr. King and we honor his legacy by doing just that, acting beyond our self-interest, so that we can all together enjoy the camaraderie and togetherness of a community that is just that stronger by virtue of our own effort. But most of all, when your commitment to service sets an example for your children and grandchildren, it's so pleasing today that we have many kids in the audience that living your life, this is the lesson for them, that living your life is not just about pursuing those narrow self-interests, taking the time and effort to make us all stronger together. Thank you very much, everybody.